Evelyn was juggling a secret romance with a younger man. He kept insisting on an official status to satisfy his ego. Evelyn handed him the part I had battled tirelessly to obtain. She was sure I wouldn't leave her. During the launch event for the new series, she confidently sported matching rings with him. In front of a live crowd of thousands and countless media cameras fixated on me, ready to see me embarrassed. But I calmly produced the divorce documents. Evelyn slammed the table right there, wrecking all my brand partnerships. She even proclaimed that within 30 days I'd be begging to get back together. Yet later, on a tempestuous night, she was the one speeding recklessly through the downpour, drenched, standing at my doorstep pleading for forgiveness. However, a woman who had recently returned to town stopped her at the door, giving a slight smile. "Ex-wife, don't even try calling. He's too exhausted to listen." When the lead actor for the movie Sunrise was revealed, my agency was in turmoil. "What's happening? They switched the actor without any notice. Why didn't anyone tell us earlier? We've cleared the next 3 months for filming." Mia, my manager, dialed the production team with a stern look, only to be dismissed with a few words. "Why don't you have Ethan call Lily and ask her directly?" Lily was the biggest investor in Sunrise and also my wife. Everyone at the studio immediately focused their attention on me, urging silently. I looked down at the new lead actor's name, feeling a heavy weight in my chest. Logan. Rumor had it he was the young man Lily was seeing behind the scenes. Until now, I hadn't taken it too seriously. Despite our lengthy marriage, even if Lily didn't cherish me deeply, she never acted so blatantly. But this time, to placate the young lover demanding recognition, Lily gave up the lead role I had fought so hard for. She knew exactly how significant this part was to me. I called 3 times, but no one picked up. Mia placed a reassuring hand on my shoulder. "Go home and talk to her properly. You've sacrificed so much for this role. Don't lose it out of spite." But that evening, Lily didn't come back. I sat on the sofa waiting from dusk till dawn before Lily finally returned. She glanced at me briefly, showing no intention of explaining herself. I finished my last sip of tea and met her eyes. "Why did you replace me?" "Because I felt like it," Lily replied casually. Then she tilted her head and smiled at me. "What? You upset?" Lily always knew how to get under my skin with her indifference. She walked over, leaned down slightly to look at me, her eyes mocking, and asked curiously, "Does the top actor Logan, who can get anything he wants, really care about just a lead role?" Her sarcasm was clear. Lily had once grabbed me by the collar and told me, "Ethan, as long as you please me, I can place you in any position you desire." Now she was demonstrating through her actions how wrong I was to have rejected her back then. In the past, I might have been too lazy to argue with Lily, but this time was different. Sunrise meant everything to me. It held all the beautiful memories with my partner. Mia's words echoed in my mind, and I held back the emotions rising within me, speaking softly. "I spent months preparing for this role, I know." Lily interrupted me casually. My eyebrows twitched as I looked up at her. "You want this role back? What can you do?" Lily lowered her eyes, laughing softly. "But I don't want to give it to you." The conversation ended on a bitter note. Mia approached me more than once, and I lay on the couch in silence for a while before speaking, my voice rough. "It's not out of spite. Lily knows how much I care. She's doing it on purpose." Mia's words stopped abruptly. She looked up at me, and after a long silence, she whispered, "What kind of marriage is this?" Yes, what kind of marriage is this? It was a marriage of convenience from the start. Lily was a princess of the city, with status and wealth. Everyone thought I was shamelessly clinging to power, but no one knew that Lily was the one who promised to love me. Before I could agree, the Lee family had already given their approval and sent me to Lily's side. But gradually, Lily began to vent her frustrations on me. When she was drunk, she would touch my face and repeatedly ask, "Ethan, am I really that unworthy of your love? Without me, would the Lee family be where it is today? Pleasing me, Isn't that what the Lee family does best? She loved to look down on me in my moments of despair, as if she were pitying and redeeming me. She would softly coax, beg me. Ethan. She knew I would never beg, and she was certain that I wouldn't ask for a divorce because of the Lee family. So she humiliated me repeatedly, watching me lose face in front of everyone. Lily made a proposition. If I could stand at the entrance of the gala with her favorite cake and wait to take her home the day after tomorrow, she would return the role to me. Mia's expression darkened. The day after tomorrow. All the big names in the industry will be there, making you stand at the door. This is just humiliating you. Even if she wants to give the role to Logan, she doesn't have to treat you like this. Mia advised me to let go of the role, but I still agreed. Is this movie really that important to you? I nodded slightly. Yes, very important. Unfortunately, it rained heavily that day. I stood at the entrance of the banquet, holding an umbrella. Eyes kept dropping on me, and whispers filled the air. I heard he's doing this to please Lily. Why act all high and mighty in the first place? No background, no connections. Of course, he has to resort to these low tactics. So embarrassing. But what a pity. I said nothing, watching the rainwater form a line and drip off the umbrella's edge. It wasn't until midnight that I realized what they meant by pity. Lily never came to the gala. I was drenched to the bone. The laughingstock of the event. My fingers trembled from the cold. Lily didn't answer her phone, but I received a text from an unknown number. I heard you waited all night. So sorry. I flew to Metro City to celebrate your birthday. Attached was a photo of an exquisite birthday cake. I stared coldly at it for a few seconds, then tossed the cake aside and walked away. Lily never returned my calls, but did update her social media. It was quickly deleted, but someone still managed to screenshot it, showing a romantic scene on a Ferris wheel. The reflection in the glass vaguely showed two people kissing. Mia was furious, cursing Lily as a monster. News spreads fast in this industry, and I became a joke everyone laughed about. Even so, I still didn't get the role back. Lily looked at me, her eyes crinkling with laughter. Ethan, even if you had gone, I wouldn't have necessarily given the role back to you. After all, I never promised. Her tone was as indifferent as ever. A chill ran through me, and I looked at her coldly. Perhaps my enraged expression amused Lily as she covered her mouth, laughing even harder. Ethan, it's been a long time since I've seen you like this, but this role has been decided, and it can't be changed. But I won't make you wait in vain either. How about this? She leaned closer, her voice tinged with amusement. From now on, you can pick any script you want, Lily. I suddenly interrupted her, looked up, and met her eyes for a few seconds. Calmly, I said, "Let's get a divorce." Lily's smile suddenly froze on her lips, her gaze turning probing as she looked at me. "Did anyone ever tell you?" She lifted a hand, her finger tracing my cheek. "Some jokes aren't meant to be taken lightly, The Lee family is negotiating right now. I could destroy it with just one word," as if to confirm her words. A message from the Lee family popped up on my phone. I turned my head away. There was no need to read it. I already knew it would be about how to please Lily. Lily lowered her eyes, her smile returning. She spoke softly, but with absolute certainty. "Ethan, you can't live without me." After that day, Lily indulged Logan even more, almost as if in revenge. Anything he wanted, Lily would give him. Logan's texts came through from time to time. Lily gave me a limited edition watch. "I heard it's the one you've always wanted. Take a look thanks to you. Otherwise, I wouldn't have met such a wonderful Lily. Oh, by the way, don't wait for me. I'm taking Lily to watch the fireworks." The numbers kept changing, but I could never block them all. The better Lily treated Logan, the more comments about me online multiplied. The rumors spread like wildfire. Thank God Ethan finally ruined himself. What does a marriage of convenience matter? True love wins. Right. Hey, Ethan, when are you going to step aside for our beloved Logan? Divorce, as if he could bear to. Everyone assumed I wouldn't dare to divorce her. So did Lily. She grabbed my phone, staring at the comments for a few seconds before looking up at me with a smile. So you do care. Then why can't you just ask me? She leaned in closer, her alcohol-laden breath brushing my ear. Ethan, beg me, say the words I want to hear. Whatever Logan has, I can give you too. I looked at her quietly. That night when I mentioned divorce, Lily didn't take it seriously at all. In this game, Lily was always pulling the strings from behind the scenes. She understood better than anyone how much public opinion could affect me. But she wanted to see me humiliated, isolated, begging her, but I wouldn't. I pushed Lily away. Don't come any closer. You're filthy. Lily stood there, stunned, her face turning pale. When the Lee family called again, I finally decided to visit them. As I pushed open the door, the room was filled with people. When they saw me, their expressions were anything but welcoming. It was clear they were unhappy with Logan's rise. My father, Victor Lee, spoke up, scolding me. How can you fail at something as simple as pleasing Lily? Have you seen what's being said about us online now? I let out a cold laugh. You're aware of what the online chatter says about the Lee family, aren't you? Victor's face darkened. Regardless, we can't lose this project. You can't afford to mess things up with Lily. I nodded. The project won't be lost, but this will be the last time. Victor's momentary relief vanished. What do you mean, the last time? The Lee family has gained plenty over the years. It's time you learn to stand on your own. This project will be my final act of endurance. Once it's done, I'll divorce Lily. Before I could finish, Victor slapped me without hesitation. What do you think you are? Without the Lee family, would you have what you do today? I turned my head, feeling the sharp sting spreading across my face, but I didn't respond. Instead, I looked Victor straight in the eye, coldly finishing my sentence. The future Ethan will have nothing to do with the Lee family. Whatever they said after that, I didn't listen, nor did I care to. The Lee family raised me all these years, but once the project was over, we were done. After years of struggling, I could finally see the end in sight. As I walked out, I looked up at the sky. The sunlight was blinding, burning my eyes. For a long time, the sound of a new message on my phone pulled me back to reality. News about Sophie Chen, the heir of the Chen family, was trending. Sophie. I stared at the name, momentarily lost in a whirlpool of memories. That night, I had a dream. In the dream, it was a quiet and warm afternoon. I finished the last page of a book and looked up, waving to the girl standing in the sunlight. When I become an actor, I want to play the male lead in this book. The girl smiled with her eyes and asked why. I looked up and told her, I like this story. The male and female leads will always be together. The girl chuckled. But outside the story, we will be too. I'll watch as our Ethan becomes a great actor and plays the lead in this book. But later, I was the one who pushed her away with my own hands. On a rainy day, she clutched the umbrella handle, smiling mockingly. Yes, the female lead was never me. I woke up with a start, my forehead covered in a fine sweat. The pitch-black room felt like a suffocating web wrapping tightly around me, making it hard to breathe. The day the Lee family's project was finalized coincided with Lily's company's new product launch. The event was more bustling than ever because the rumor that Lily would bring Logan along had leaked. Several media outlets, drawn by the scent of high society gossip, rushed to the scene before I left. Mia tugged at my sleeve. Do you really have to go? In a formal setting like this, if Lily really brought Logan, it would be a deliberate attempt to humiliate me. Going there would be walking right into a trap. I nodded. Mia opened her mouth to say something more. But the next second, her expression turned extremely grim. I glanced down at her screen. In the live broadcast of the event, Lily had indeed brought Logan along. They stood together, their outfits carefully coordinated. The media, always eager for drama, zoomed in on the matching rings they both wore. The media frenzy erupted. The live stream chat exploded. Lily really brought him couple rings. This is too much. Does she really think Ethan won't ask for a divorce? There's no way he'll divorce her, especially considering the Lee family. I stopped watching and went straight to find Lily. As soon as I arrived at the scene, many eyes immediately turned towards me, filled with anticipation for a good show. Logan smiled and began to explain. Don't get the wrong idea. I insisted on buying matching rings with Lily. Well, I said coldly, I believe that's the ring Lily bought for me, which I refused. You can wear it if you like. Logan's face instantly paled. Lily looked over at me, a bit surprised. Her voice lowered. What, you finally decided to come find me? I nodded. Yes, I have something to discuss with you. She suddenly smiled. Ethan, I told you, you can't live without me. But coming to beg me now, isn't it a bit late? The moment Logan appeared, I was destined to be the laughingstock of the entire city. This was exactly what Lily wanted to see. Humiliating me was her usual tactic. Lily's voice was loud enough for everyone to hear. As she spoke, the gazes on me became even more contemptuous. Ethan really came to beg her. I actually want to see what he'll say. These words reached both Lily's and my ears, making her smile even wider. She adjusted her posture, ready and waiting for me to speak. I looked at her calmly, and under everyone's gaze, I pulled out the divorce papers. It's not too late. I handed her a pen. Just sign it if you agree. Lily looked at me, still smiling, but the moment her eyes landed on the divorce papers, her smile froze. The lively atmosphere suddenly turned cold, and the room fell into silence. What do you mean? Weren't you here to apologize? Lily gritted her teeth, speaking each word slowly. Ethan, do you really dare to divorce me? It was rare to see Lily like this. She stared at the divorce papers for a long time before letting out a laugh, more out of anger than amusement. Do you really think your family's only project with the Shen family is this one? I'll give you some time to reconsider. Lily placed the divorce papers back in my hands. Ethan, if you take this back now, I can pretend none of this ever happened. No need to think about it, I said, my voice cold as I looked at her. Just sign. Lily was certain that I wouldn't leave her for the sake of the Lee family. I was equally certain that someone concerned with appearances like Lily wouldn't refuse to sign in front of everyone. The whispers around us started to grow. More and more cameras were pointed at Lily. This kind of gossip was tantalizing to everyone present. Lily glanced around at the scene, her expression darkening. She slammed the table, her fingers gripping the pen so tightly that her knuckles turned white. Fine, Ethan, it won't be long. You'll come crawling back to me like a dog. News of our divorce instantly became a trending topic. The Lee family contacted me faster than I expected. The moment Victor raised his hand to strike, I caught his wrist and flung it aside. Victor's face turned pale as he angrily lashed out at me, afraid of offending the Shen family. He hurled insults at me. I stood on the overpass, watching the traffic of people pass by, my gaze cold as I observed Victor's fury. Instead of venting on me, I stood there, watching the world move on. You should think about the future of the Lee family. I won't be a sacrificial pawn again. Victor left in a fit of impotent rage. Even long after he had gone, I remained standing there. As night fell, I sat on the overpass with a few bottles of alcohol, drinking them down one by one. The sky grew completely dark, and it began to rain, an especially cold autumn rain. Yet not a single drop touched me. A quiet umbrella was held over my head, the fingers gripping the handle just as elegantly as they had been many years ago. My heart skipped a beat. The alcohol in my throat caught, and I couldn't speak. I thought Sophie would never want to see me again. In all the countless scenarios I had imagined for our reunion, I never thought we would sit quietly under an overpass, drinking. The sound of the rain was soft, and neither of us spoke. We drank until midnight, and when my head began to swim, I heard her speak softly. You're not doing well. My fingers trembled around the bottle. Sophie moved closer, her voice hoarse. Why won't you look at me? I had pushed her away with my own hands. and I didn't deserve to expect anything more. But maybe it was the alcohol, or maybe I just missed her too much. Looking at her face, I couldn't bring myself to push her away again. My body stiffened as I watched Sophie's lips come closer. Her lips were warm. When I regained full consciousness, I found myself in Sophie's home. The sound of the rain drummed steadily, and the atmosphere inside was filled with subtle tension. The soft gasps mingled with the rain, and I kept my gaze fixed on the person beneath me, afraid this was all just a dream. The rain outside intensified, her teeth sinking into her lip as she struggled to maintain control. Her low whispers echoed in my ears. "Not too fast, Ethan." The words were drowned out by the sudden surge of rain. The downpour outside grew even heavier. This rainy night was destined to last a long time. When I woke up, I looked around at the mess before me. I almost wanted to run away. Sophie came out of the kitchen, her eyes filled with sadness. "Are you leaving?" I froze in place, unsure of how to respond. "It's okay," Sophie said, lowering her gaze. "It was just 2 hours." She turned away. "If you want to leave, just go." I stayed and ate breakfast in silence, but I never dared to look at Sophie. As soon as I met her eyes, I would immediately remember the cruel words I had said to her years ago. I didn't speak, and Sophie said nothing either. She drove me to the studio and then left again. Before she left, she said softly, "I'm preparing dinner tonight. It might be a bit of a hassle, so if you don't want to come, that's okay." I opened my mouth to say something, but before I could, Sophie had already driven away. I couldn't refuse the Sophie who had returned, nor did I want to, I thought. Even if I could only have a brief moment, I would be content. Enraging Lily led to swift retaliation. She cut off all my brand partnerships and made it clear that within a month, I would be begging for reconciliation. I had expected Lily to make things difficult for me, but I hadn't anticipated just how tough it would be. Lily wanted me to bow down. I was blacklisted online, faced rejection at every turn, and roles I had auditioned for were given to others. Even so, my manager Mia had no intention of leaving me. I looked at Mia. It might be tough for a while. Mia said nothing, just handed me a pile of documents. "No matter how tough it gets, Ethan, you won't stop here. Lily's influence might be vast, but it isn't all-encompassing. Any role I could get, I would give my best performance. Lily couldn't keep me down." Sophie would always pick me up in the evening for dinner. She never brought up the past. This period was so peaceful, it felt like we had returned to the early days of our acquaintance. At night, she liked to gently nibble on my earlobe, whispering again and again in the midst of our passion. "Do you want to be with me?" I looked at her, suppressing my own body, but Sophie was patient. Her fingers slowly tracing downward on an endless sea. A lone boat surrendered to the waves' control, unable to break free, unable to escape. In the time after our divorce, Lily never gave Logan a proper status. Mia showed me a video, the background dim, as if it were in a bar. Logan, eyes red with frustration, questioned Lily, "You're divorced. Why can't you give me a place by your side?" Lily laughed. "And what's your status?" "This position is already taken," Lily said, fingering the ring on her hand with absolute certainty. "Ethan will come back." I let out a cold laugh. Lily was still waiting for me to return, so she kept a close watch on my every move. Whenever I got involved with something, she would step in to stir things up. After multiple failed auditions, someone finally couldn't hold back and said, "It's not that you don't meet our requirements. It's just that Lily, Ethan, maybe you should stop fighting with Lily. Just apologize, and your problems will be solved." Right? I laughed. Apologize. What did I do wrong? Leaving Lily is the one thing I have no regrets about. As soon as the words left my mouth, there was a loud crack. Something shattered behind me. Curious, I looked back. The door slowly opened. Behind it, Lily's face, dark with fury, came into view. Her eyes were locked onto me, her smile ice cold. "Ethan, what did you just say?" Lily never imagined that I would actually leave her, so she kept waiting for me to give up and come crawling back. But she waited a long time, and I never returned. Lily gradually felt something slipping out of her control, so she escalated her efforts, trying to trap me within her grasp. But unfortunately for her, the results she wanted never came. That's why she showed up here, wanting to hear directly from me. She hadn't expected to hear this outcome. Lily was furious. Everyone else had the good sense to leave the room. As I turned to go, she grabbed my wrist. She looked up at me. "Have you had enough of this?" I stared at her coldly. "Without me, the Lee family is in chaos, and you're in such a mess, too." Lily touched my face with pity. "Ethan, don't you see? You can't live without me. Just beg me." And what is that?" Lily's voice suddenly rose sharply. Her gaze had fallen on my neck. Her face turned frighteningly dark. I touched my neck. Suddenly, I remembered last night. Lily fixated on the hickey, going mad. Her grip on my hand tightened. Her voice barely contained her anger. "Ethan, what is this?" "Let go." I shook Lily off. She stumbled back a few steps and finally calmed down. She swallowed hard and said softly, "Explain. I'll listen to your explanation." I straightened my clothes and looked at her with a laugh. "What kind of relationship do we have that I owe you an explanation?" "Ethan," Lily frowned. "Don't call me that. And as for the Lee family, it has nothing to do with me anymore. Don't use them to threaten me. As for your threats to ruin my career, go ahead. I'll take it all. But Lily, you can't trap me." With every word I said, Lily's face grew paler. She stared at me for a long time, disbelief clouding her eyes. "You didn't divorce me because of Logan, or out of spite. From the very beginning, you really wanted to leave me. Ethan, after all these years, you never felt anything for me." I looked at her coldly. "No, never. I made it very clear from the start." Lily shook her head, laughing bitterly as she looked at me, speaking each word deliberately. "Ethan, I don't believe you." Lily began to constantly appear around me. Every time she showed up, my auditions would fall through again and again. She would just stand there watching me with a calm expression. Mia nearly exploded with anger more than once, but I stopped her. "Lily is vindictive. Don't provoke her on my account." Lily's appearances became so frequent that I started avoiding Sophie, not wanting to drag her into this mess. Around this time, I was offered a role as a ruthless male supporting character. It was surprising to even get an offer during this period. It wasn't until I saw Logan, whom I hadn't seen in a long time, suddenly cast as the male lead in this show that I realized what was happening. Logan had joined the crew with the intention of making things difficult for me, but he hadn't anticipated that this role wasn't one he could just coast through. A single scene had to be reshot multiple times because of Logan. The crew was exasperated with his poor acting skills. Frustrated, Logan directed his anger at me. How can I perform when there's something so irritating around? Coincidentally, I found him irritating too. Just before leaving, I turned back and said, "When you've climbed up by relying on others, make sure to hold on tight. A slip could lead to a nasty fall." Logan was enraged. I could imagine his frustration as Lily's interest in him waned, leading him to focus his efforts on targeting me. The sunset was beautiful that evening, and I looked up at it. For me right now, having the chance to be in a production was already a rare opportunity. Taking every role seriously, with no regrets toward others or myself, was enough. I didn't see Sophie again for a whole month. Afraid of dragging Sophie into my mess, I had developed the habit of instinctively turning away whenever I saw her. But this time, Sophie moved quickly and grabbed my wrist before I could slip away. "Stop hiding." The air was cold, and her words came out with a chill. Sophie must have been waiting outside the studio for a long time. Her fingers were icy. She looked up at me, her eyes filled with sadness. "I know you're avoiding me because of Lily, Ethan. If you don't want me around, I won't come looking for you, but," she continued, her smile strained, "after all she's done to you, are you really going to choose her?" I stood there, stunned, as a sharp pain shot through my chest while looking at Sophie. Years ago, she stood before me with the same expression, smiling as she said, "Yes, I was never the lead." Back then, I was indeed too weak, forced by the Lee family's threats to say cruel things to Sophie, even admitting that I'd fallen in love with Lily. I never expected Sophie to misunderstand things like this now. Before I could speak, Sophie suddenly let go of my hand. She sniffed and forced a lighthearted smile. "I understand now. You told me before. I'm not the lead." She nodded, smiling. "But even so, Sophie." I interrupted her, pulling her into a kiss before she could finish. Sophie's body stiffened. My voice was hoarse, and my words came out muddled. "Sophie, I love you. I've always loved you. I didn't choose Lily. I was just afraid of dragging you down." Sophie's eyelashes fluttered slightly. "And now? But now I'm more afraid of you leaving. In the past, I was too cowardly. And because of that, we missed out on so much. This time, I don't want to push the person I love away again." A faint smile curved Sophie's lips. She hooked her arms around my neck and deepened the kiss. Through the haze, I heard the unfinished words Sophie had been trying to say. She whispered, "Even if I'm not the lead, I still love you." After that day, the ever-clingy Lily suddenly stopped appearing. I asked Sophie, "Was this your doing?" Sophie looked at me. "I know you want to do things on your own, so I haven't interfered during this time, but this time, it wasn't for you." The Lee family had monopolized resources for too long. It was time for the Chen family to take a share. So I gave Lily a Chen family share. So I gave Lily a little trouble. Just a heads up, the company's issues should keep her busy for a while. Sophie didn't like to talk about Lily, so she quickly changed the subject. "Our great actor Ethan, you need to keep working hard. I know you did your best for asterisk sunrise asterisk. So don't be sad, just keep moving forward. And if you ever get tired, I'll always be right behind you." Sophie was always like this, gentle and understanding. It was at that moment that I decided I couldn't be a stain on Sophie's life. At least, the me of today doesn't measure up to her. In the following months, I threw myself completely into my work. Every role I took, I treated with the utmost seriousness. I wanted to stand beside Sophie, relying on my own efforts. But later, I found out that the little trouble Sophie mentioned was a crisis that kept Lily busy for months. And the reason Sophie returned this time was to go after the Shen family. Logan's poor acting in his lead role became a trending topic, with people mocking him across social media. Meanwhile, I unexpectedly became popular for my portrayal of the villain, whose malevolence and madness were so compelling that it resonated with the audience. My fanbase grew by millions, and Mia was overwhelmed with the number of commercial brand deals coming in. On New Year's Eve, Mia, rarely sentimental, confessed that she had watched me persevere through everything. During the most difficult times, when Lily made life so hard that even drinking water made me choke, we had held on. Fortunately, we had gritted our teeth and made it through. And now, everything was slowly getting better. Mia admitted that when I announced my divorce during that live stream, she hadn't expected it. But she supported me completely. No matter how tough things got afterward, she never thought about leaving me. I chuckled. Mia then said, "Don't laugh yet. Explain what's going on with Sophie." I was stunned. Sophie and I had been trying to avoid any suspicion because I was worried that I wasn't worthy of standing by Sophie's side at the time. I kept thinking I needed to become even better to be worthy of her, but clearly I couldn't hide anything from Mia. Mia said, "As long as you're happy, that's all that matters. But Sophie isn't just anyone. I've heard that Lily is still digging around for information about you. Now that you've become better and have a more remarkable partner, I wonder what Lily's reaction will be when she hears about this." I smiled and told Mia, "It's New Year's Eve, so we shouldn't mention unpleasant people." But Lily was destined to be the person who ruined everything. She came to find me. On New Year's Eve, I didn't want her to ruin my mood, so I was ready to leave. But she blocked my way again and again. "Ethan, it's New Year's Eve. It's been months. How long are you going to keep this up? I stuffed my hands in my pockets and looked at her coldly. "I've been waiting for you to come back and apologize," Lily said, frowning. "But you're so stubborn. You just refuse to bow your head and beg me. You've been gone for so long, making decisions on your own." Lily lowered her gaze to me. "I can let it go, Ethan." Lily sighed, making a concession. "As long as you say even one word to soften your stance now, I can forgive everything that's happened. I can give you the resources and brands you want. I just need you to bow your head." Lily spoke earnestly, but I laughed. I thought that she might have changed over these months, but nothing had. "Lily, there's only one thing I want to say to you now." Lily leaned in closer. I whispered, "Get lost, Ethan." Lily's face darkened instantly. "I've come to you personally. What more do you want? Why do you think I'll come back?" I asked curiously. "From the very beginning, you and the Lee family never treated me like a person. You provided resources to the Lee family, and they provided a person. No one ever asked how I felt. I was nothing more than a commodity in your transaction." Lily interrupted. "That's because I genuinely liked you, and I really wanted to be with you. But you never asked for my choice, never gave me respect. Your so-called love, like you, is cheap." Lily opened her mouth to say something, but she was interrupted by Sophie, who suddenly appeared. "Oh, you still have time to be here flirting? Have you handled the company's issues yet?" The moment Sophie spoke, Lily's irritation shot through the roof. It seemed Sophie had indeed caused Lily quite a bit of trouble recently. Lily narrowed her eyes at Sophie. "What are you doing here, picking up my husband from work?" As soon as she said that, Lily became suddenly alert. It was New Year's Eve, and everyone had gone home. Lily looked around and then slowly focused her gaze on me. She watched in disbelief as Sophie walked over, adjusted my collar, and then stood on her tiptoes to give me a light kiss. And then, Lily lost her mind. "Ethan, who is she?" She stared at me intently. "Ethan, come here. Don't stand next to her." Lily stood in the darkness, her voice trembling. "You chose her. Is it because of Logan? Because you're mad at me. I've already cut ties with Logan. He'll never come between us again." I adjusted Sophie's scarf and turned to interrupt Lily. "Lily, do you remember when I told you I never had feelings for you? Because there's someone I've always liked, really liked." "Don't say it." Lily's lashes fluttered. "Ethan, don't say it." I held Sophie's hand and looked at Lily. "Now, the person I love has come back." Lily ended up in the hospital on New Year's Eve. She was so furious with Sophie that it happened. I wasn't sure what Sophie said to her because she covered my ears, but it certainly wasn't anything pleasant. Chloe spent the new year in the hospital. She was in a deep slump for a long time. Mia couldn't hide her smile when she mentioned it. When I saw Logan again, our roles had completely reversed. I was now the popular male lead. He had become an obscure supporting actor, constantly reprimanded for his poor performance. He was met with cold stares everywhere on the crew. As I walked past him, I smiled, just like that rainy night when I received his message and said, "I heard you really wanted this lead role. Sorry, but I got it through my own acting skills." Logan gritted his teeth in anger but couldn't do anything to me. Now, Lily had completely cast him aside, and with his limited abilities, it couldn't do anything to me. Now, Lily had completely cast him aside, and with his limited abilities, it was hard for him to climb back up. Eventually, his name was gradually forgotten within the industry. After Lily was discharged from the hospital, she abandoned her high and mighty demeanor and started sending me all sorts of limited edition gifts. She waited outside with a cake all night, experiencing everything I had once gone through. No one expected Lily, who had always been so ruthless with her words, to become this humble. Before Lily became so humble, she had sought out Sophie, even trying to use past events to drive a wedge between us. At that time, Sophie had said, "Ethan went through a lot while I was gone. I can't bear to blame him. I only blame myself for not being strong enough back then, for not seeing things clearly. Love often feels like a debt. Lily, Someone as selfish as you might never understand that. The entrance was piled high with Lily's gifts. Sophie quietly looked at the gifts Lily had sent and asked me, "What should we do with these?" Before I could answer, she looked away. "If you like these gifts and want to keep them, that's fine. I won't mind." I couldn't help but laugh and pulled her into my arms. "Sophie, why do I sense a bit of jealousy here?" Sophie pretended to be gentle, sweet, and understanding. In reality, not a single piece of those gifts, not even the ribbons, was left behind. Those who were waiting for me to go back to Lily never got the outcome they expected. Instead, they got the news of my engagement to Sophie. The day after the engagement was announced, a heavy rain fell. When Lily heard the news, she went crazy, speeding through the rain to get to me. Soaked to the skin, she stood at the door and knocked carefully. "Ethan, is the news about your engagement true? Ethan, are you mad at me? I went after Logan just to get your attention. I just wanted you to feel something, anything for me. I just wanted you to try to love me. I didn't know how to love before. Ethan, can you give me another chance?" Lily poured out her heart, saying so many things, but I didn't hear any of them. By then, I was already too tired to care. Lily said a lot, but when the door opened, it was Sophie's face I saw leaning against the doorframe. Sophie smiled, her expression sweet yet sharp, still eavesdropping on others. "Huh, but it's too bad. My husband is tired and can't hear you, by the way. Instead of wasting your time drooling over someone else's husband, why don't you go check on your own company? It seems it might not last much longer." For once, Lily didn't argue. She looked at Sophie with red eyes and softly asked, "Can I see him just once?" Before she could finish her sentence, Sophie mercilessly shut the door in her face. My wedding with Sophie was exceptionally grand. Coincidentally. On the same day, the Lee family was on the brink of collapse and the Shen family went bankrupt. Lily got into a car accident on her way to the wedding. When Sophie heard the news, she smiled, her eyes curving. How lucky. Everything good happens on the same day all day long. Sophie was in an especially good mood, and by evening, her mood only improved. As she whispered in my ear, her breath warm and teasing, she wrapped a strip of cloth, from who knows where, around my wrist. Her voice was sweet and innocent. "Could we, just for tonight?" Seeing the cloth in her hands, I suddenly had a bad feeling. Lately, Sophie had been getting more creative with her ideas. Before I could agree, she suddenly deflated. "Never mind if you don't want to. It's just that my husband promised on our wedding night. But it's okay if you don't want to." Sophie, always so sweet and understanding, leaned in to kiss me. "It's really okay. At times like this, there's no room for disagreement." But in the end, it was Sophie who ended up being the one tied up. The long night stretched on. She regretted it several times, but she never got the chance to say a complete sentence.
Gay DP. It'll be fine. Like, she'll start questioning life choices as well. Like being married to me. I'm not gonna tell her that. Okay, that sounded less creepy in my head. Alright, I got 300 points left in this. Okay, that's fine. I'm struggling right now to even maintain composure because these guys are fucking animals in chat. Talking about jizzing mustard and the possibility of it, the burn from said mustard. Okay, still back at mustard jizzies for real. Oh, I hate you guys so much, but I love you. Oh. I'm supposed to play a game. Who doesn't like mustard jizz on their hot dog? I don't like mustard on my hot dog, let alone mustard jizz. Tanner. Yeah, I'm a ketchup on my hot dog guy. 'Cause I'm from Texas. We like ketchup on our hot dogs. We have to sound united to this Aussie guy. If there's anything the United States of America isn't, it's united. I ate 5 hot dogs today. You ate my people?
We're targeting Alpha.
Why would you do that?
We're heading for victory. Maintain attack on all
I'm just kind of not even... Headspace is not in this fucking game right now.
Alpha's neutralized.
If I fly to the US, is it true to get... True, I get to choose which celebrity picks me up from the airport? No, that's... Yes, it's true. Yep. The trick is you have to DM them on Instagram. I'm gonna go with either David Lee Roth or Joey Chestnut. Who's Joey Chestnut? I'm leaning... Do I need it? Should I Google? Joey... I'm gonna have to clear my search history after this. He's an American competitive eater. If I ever get big one day on Twitch, I hope I can pull like a Kai Cenat collab with Joey Chestnut. Oh, I didn't back out fast enough. Give me 1 second. Chauncey. You need his outfit as an outfit. Do y'all put ketchup on y'all's hot dogs? Yes. Yes. Only. Only ketchup. Are you mic'd up tonight, Jonchi, or are you just flying mute? I think I saw you say something in Wolf's chat. Discord? Which cord? You will for me? Oh. Alright, Wolves. Let's do it. Alright. If you want to pause the search real quick, I gotta go to the bathroom. This motherfucker's getting me laughing too hard, and I'm about to pee my pants. I only shit relish.